Cool. So welcome to tonight, guys. Tonight's meeting we've called Female Founders, the Reinvention of Work-Life Balance. And we wanted to have a slightly different take on our Go with the Flow networking tonight. And as we are all female founders, like we know that we kind of work differently to the typical 9 to 5. And yet lots of things, we've got lots of strains on our time, whether it's family, whether it's commitments, whatever's going on. So tonight we wanted to sort of talk about the challenges and what we see as our kind of goals for our work-life balance. We want to kind of debate, is that even the right terminology? Like, is that the right thing? Because should we be trying to balancing work and life? Because surely it should be about our lives. And we want to come up with some ideas. Like, we want to come up with some ideas. We want to support each other. We want to brainstorm and come up with, and hear what you guys are doing to make it work for you. Linda, do you want to throw anything else in to the kind of intro?
Sure. Not really to the intro, but I've got like I don't know if you guys have got hello, I'm Linda, by the way. I didn't actually introduce myself, I just realised. Hi, I run the Village with Jen. So if you've got a pen and paper, that would be great. If you haven't, you can just use your brain for now. But something on the lines of, I love to run a successful and profitable business. And so the other side of that would be what you love or what you want from your life. So for me, it would be, I love to run a successful and profitable business and be a great mum and also enjoy my own life. So that's kind of like a statement. You don't have to write the same statement as me, but it's just kind of like an intro. So along the lines of, I love or I want to run a successful and profitable business, and like, what do you want as well as that? Because a statement that Jen and I wrote down when we were devising this meeting is that we are so much more than our business. And our business is obviously really important to us and often does present some of our identity, but we are more than that. So if you are up for it, whatever you wrote then would be fantastic if you could put it in the chat. You don't have to, but if you've got something you're happy to share, just popping it in the chat would be really cool. I love your one, Kirsty. That's brilliant.
I'm going to read some of them out. Be there for my son, but also have some time for myself. Yes. Travel the world, making memories. Love that. Travel the world, eat great food, enjoy warm weather, be inspired to be more creative. Love it. Meet my own well-being goals. So I said, have amazing adventures while being an awesome wife, fun mum, and reliable friend. Caris, I want to be a great present mum, instilling the values of working hard. Like that. Linda, be a great mum and also do fun and fulfilling things for me. Vicky, I want to run a successful and profitable business whilst having a great relationship with my daughters and continuing to learn and do the things that bring me joy. Be the best version of myself and to feel complete balance, to not blow my top at my annoying teenagers. Not sure if that is possible. I think there's some other people that can probably relate to that in the village. Might not be on tonight, but balance my time with my family as well as offering my clients excellent services for unforgettable trips. Being true to what I believe in and being present for my children.
There's definitely themes, aren't there? And I think, again, hopefully this sort of highlights the number of hats that we try and wear and want to wear. And that's why the whole balancing thing is a challenge. And that's kind of what we want to talk about tonight. We have 3 questions. Jen, you're welcome to jump in at any point, by the way. I'm not trying to take over.
No,
That we devised, that we'd love to start off with. And then we might break into a couple of rooms because we don't quite know how this will go. I'm really interested to see what your thoughts are around all of this. And where's Nicola gone? Nicola, she put a good comment in the Facebook group about this too, which I'd love to like raise as well. So you've now kind of stated a little bit about your kind of intention. So your question number 1 is, what are your challenges around this work-life balance monarchy? Like, what makes it difficult for you to achieve at times? So just like literally scribble the word challenges down and just see what comes out of your pen when you think about that.
just in Karis's comment, and I definitely do that as well. Say yes to too many things and stretch myself too thin. Really resonates. I think Laura's just joined as well. So hello, Laura, welcome. Don't know if you're there, but.
So if you're happy to write them down, that'll be really cool because then we can talk, like pick up some themes in a minute. I love what people are obviously starting to already.
Does anyone want to share verbally what they came up with? Come off mute if you do. Heather?
I will. Hi. I think one of the big challenges for me is just kind of not being able to predict things. So like my business, it's really hard to predict how busy I'm going to be. And I'll go from one week where there's just not enough hours in the day to the next, all of a sudden I'm like, oh, where's everyone gone? And then alongside that, the unpredictable nature of children as well. So, you know, if someone's sick, having to balance that, or last week my son got sent home from school apparently being sick, but then wasn't sick but couldn't go back in for 48 hours. So yeah, just completely not being able to control what's happening.
Your comment's so apt, Heather, because I just wrote, my line was unpredictable your family life, and then Laura's just come on saying that 2 of her children have got chicken pox. I'm so sorry to hear that, Laura. And again, it's so interesting because obviously you've missed the beginning of the meeting, but we're just talking about like what we would like, but also what the challenges are around work-life balance. And so that couldn't be more apt for that timing. It's just literally hit the nail on the head. I'm so sorry. Thanks, Heather. Is anyone else happy just to sort of like talk about what they wrote or explain it a bit more? Thanks, Nikki.
I'm going to say it because my typing, I'm so slow. And honestly, my glasses, this is my old prescription and I can barely see it. And I type like I'm 97 and then my spelling all goes wrong and I'll just be illiterate. So I'm just going to say it. I think the struggle for me, it's really hard because I feel a combination, because hearing all you guys talking, I'm assuming that a lot of you've got younger children. Mine are at 18 and 20, so I'm at a different stage of mum guilt but the guilt is there nonetheless, and the balance is there nonetheless. One of my daughters lives 200 miles away, she's at uni, and my other daughter's about to go off to uni, and my husband lives 3,000 miles away. So why should I struggle, really? But I do have struggles because, like, I have a daughter that suffers anxiety, so I'm often up and down the M4 because I have to go to where she is. And then my other daughter, I'm worried about her going off. And then before I started my business, I could hop on a plane whenever I want. And I used to pretty much every month I would be in my other home where my husband is. And I had that kind of, and now I'm trying to do what I've wanted to do for my whole life, and I'm living the dream in the sense of I'm doing something that brings me joy and makes me happy every day, but I'm trying to balance it with everything else that comes along with guilt, wanting to be a good mum, household chores, and it's also it's just my little dog, she needs a walk, friends, seeing them. A lot of my friends don't understand that and I know Kimberly's on, she's one of my little doodle friends, but in what we do is when we're on call, it could be 24 hours a day. Someone could say, baby's coming, we're on our way. My friends don't understand that. So when I'm sitting there on water and we're out on a big jolly up like I was on call at Christmas, then I feel guilt there. It's like, well, why are you all making me feel bad? I'm doing something good. I support you all, why aren't you supporting me? So yeah, and then just throw the menopause into that. It's just an absolute shocker show. So yeah, so that is what I struggle with, I think. Mostly, like, mainly just trying to find, but like, it's the same, like Linda said, it's a common theme. It's just this wanting to be, we put so much pressure on ourselves. We want to be the best, we want to be the best daughter, we want to be the not the best, but we want to just be enough, good mum, good this, and then we beat ourselves up when we don't. So it's just trying to find that, how do we achieve being enough in all these boxes that we want to without killing ourselves and at our own detriment of our mental health and our physical health,
No, it's so good. I think everyone's like, yes.
That was
okay.
so well said. Yeah, absolutely. And I think the consequences that we don't have any time for ourselves and we give to everyone else first, and when we're a little bit empty for ourselves.
Can be. So question 2, which might be hard to answer, is like,
Linda,
what do you...
one thing, sorry to interrupt. I think Kimberly had something to share.
I'm so sorry. Go for it.
Much of the same. I was going to say, it was just when you said, does anybody want to say anything? Mine sort of challenges mirror what everybody else has already said, and particularly because of how unpredictable the work is I do, and I'm terrible for overscheduling myself. So I know somebody else has said that as well. So I'm like, I can do that. I could do that. I could do that. And then I volunteer myself for all these things and I go, okay, right. And then I schedule all my days like back to back. But if I get called out to a birth and I have to drop a day, I then have to squeeze a day's worth of work into somewhere else, which is usually like a week away because my diary is like full. And yeah, I end up being overscheduled, and then I might disappear off for like a solid 24-hour period and just drop everything. And then I've got to pick it all up and also carry on with my overscheduled schedule. So yeah, it's that like unpredictableness and trying to like stop filling my diary with things all the time.
It's a skill. I am not going to talk too much because I'm not trying to jump on, but that was me all over, and it still has bit me a bit, if I'm honest. But I have learned to say no, and it's made quite a big difference. Not no in a mean way, but just like explain. And like, for example, she's not in like Carly, who's also in the village. I'm supporting her new venture of having like mums meet up postnatally or when they're still pregnant. It's something that I used to do myself, but I realized I hadn't got the capacity for it anymore. And she said she really wanted to do something. And I was like, right, I'd love to support you in that. So I've invited all my clients to it, and I'm going to be there. And I'm obviously going to make cakes for that, because where would I go without cakes? But I'm not actually organising the ticketing, and I'm not organising any of that. I'm just supporting. And so I think it's a skill, Kimberly, that if you want to improve upon, to use that word, you can, but it has taken me about 10 years.
Yeah, I was going to say it's taken me time, but I am getting there, and I'm also getting to, like, before I just go, yeah, me, I can do that. I kind of go, right, Kimberly, what have you got on your plate at the moment? When can this realistically be done? Can you do this? And then I am finding myself saying no more often, but then being really like, I'm so sorry, but I can't. Ask me
Yeah.
next year.
It is hard. It is. Well, we're gonna come to problem solving in a bit, so this is gonna be perfect.
Yeah.
Does anyone else want to say anything? Sorry, I didn't mean to realize I came before about this first question. If anyone wants to comment or elaborate, please do. You're okay. All right. So question number 2, and as I was just saying before, it might be a bit hard to answer, but just see what comes up for you. And that is, what do you want? Like, so you've talked about the challenges. What is it that you'd actually quite like? But what do you want in this work-life balance? How does that look for you? Anything come up? It'll love that, Karis. And why the hell not, right?
Just pop the question in the chat in case you need it.
Thank you.
I want a cleaner. Kerry, me too. Oh my God. Constantly asking my husband about, can we get a cleaner? Because we sacked the last
In
one.
2 weeks ago, we used to have one, and then when I moved jobs, she moved on as well. And 2 weeks ago, I went, I can't do it all, and I fell in love with my house again the first time she came. So I would
Really?
highly recommend it.
Yeah, my
I
cleaner
know.
is honestly the best money spent in literally the week. She's coming tomorrow morning. I'm so excited.
I told the kids they weren't allowed to get their toys out when they got home from school. I was like, you can't get your toys out because the house will never look like this again. Lasted about 2 minutes, and then I relented. But
I took on I'm a music teacher as well as a boob lover, and I took on an extra student in lockdown as maternity cover for a colleague, and I realised that what I was earning in the hour with her, I could pay a cleaner for a couple of hours, and so I did, and we had 2 years of absolute bliss, and then 2 years ago she needed to leave for full-time work. And it's happening. 2024 is the year of the cleaner, and I'm writing it everywhere I possibly can to hold myself to account for it. It is going to happen. It's like, and in fact, my list of what do you want is all the things that I know other people can probably do better than me, or the same as me, or as I don't really care how it gets done as long as it gets done. So it's those kind of helps. I look at HelloFresh and just want to order it all 7 days a week, but it's not. Yeah, it's not in our budget. And I'm trying to look at it thinking, well, if I did a bit more of this paid work thing, maybe I could get more of that. So it's that balance of a balance, trying to get it together. But
Yeah.
I can't talk and write at the same time. I was listening, Kerry.
No, I love it because we're very much like that. We're looking at our kind of life and going, what's important, what are our priorities, what we spend our money on. And I think everyone is at the moment, aren't they? And I think it's hard to justify, but at the same time it is worth it, I think.
Yeah, I looked at that cleaner and I thought she's here 2 hours a week, but actually she buys me 10 hours a week in what else I'm able to do. So the
headspace and the calm.
Yeah. And it's like a buddy. It's someone alongside you working towards your goal with you. So yes, I'm all in favour.
Cleaning's actually my therapy. I love cleaning.
Really?
I'm OCD anyway, and that does work against me in some ways because I've set myself quite not high standard. I don't mean that, but I'll beat myself up if I don't do something. But it's a way I can get out of my own head if I'm in a space or if I'm feeling overwhelmed. So if I'm doing work, for instance, or if I'm studying something, I'll think, right, I'm just going to go and deep clean the bathroom. Out comes my sonic scrubber. I go at my taps for an hour and then they look lovely, so I feel good. And I've just burnt off. Plus, I'm an insomniac. I only sleep like an hour a night. So my whole street, luckily I've lived here for quite a while, so they all know me now, but they actually think I need sectioning, because I will clean my windows at 2:30 in the morning and hang out of my windows and be cleaning them. I've got a miner's helmet and I've actually gone out and cleaned my patio before at 3 a.m. in the dark, because if you don't sleep, why not use my time to something that's going to be my benefit and put me in a good place, you know? But yeah, I'm going to say mine because, as I said, it's easy for me. I think I just wanted to be exactly what everyone said, more organised. I say yes to things that from a work. I want to be busy, and we all want work, and then I think, oh, I want as many clients as I can, and then it happens, and then I go in panic mode and think, but I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this one, and then I'm rolling a lot. I just roll with it, and then I feel like I'm just rolling with it, not going at a pace where I feel quite comfortable. It all works out, but I'm just thinking I need to be more organised. I need to be more on this, and I want to get my business in a way that I feel at the moment I feel it's not running as I want it to run. I didn't mention I'm a hypnobirthing instructor as well, and I never went into hypnobirthing as an entity on its own, if that makes sense. I went in, it wasn't to ever run as a sole business on its own. I did it because I wanted it to enable my doula clients. It was something that I wanted, you know, to kind of enhance their birth experience. And it was in my mind, it was always going to be secondary. And now I still think that is the case, but I can't figure out quite how. So that is my goal. I want that balance to get my business to a point where it is where I want it to be. If I'm probably not making any sense at the moment, it just feels like it's this big pot that's just kind of bubbling along, and I'm kind of just watching it, where it needs to be at a point where it's right structured. Because I think if that's structured, then everything else will fall into place, you know, kind of everything. At the moment, I just feel like a little bit chaotic. And also organisation, basically, that's the big one for me.
My brain's like, right, just like devising things we need to do in the village, like trainings. I'm like, right, okay. There's definitely some common themes here, aren't there? For sure. And what we were going to do is divide into a couple of, or maybe three, it's quite a lot of us tonight, breakout rooms, and just start. So the third question of the three questions is, how can we make this happen? So what we want, okay, we've all just written down, or we've had a little think about. So, okay, next steps. I'm not suggesting we like completely crack it tonight, but like, what can we do to make it happen? And so it's a bit of a brainstorm in our little breakout rooms. How many rooms shall I do, Jen? What do you think? 4, 8, 12.
I think it's 15, so I reckon 3 rooms of 5 would be good actually. And then we'll come back and share, like each group shares.
Yeah. So if I get us into groups of 5, it's 8:10. What do we think? Like 20 minutes together in our groups of 5, and then we can come back and have a bit of a share. Are we going on till 9 tonight? Is that our plan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think 15 minutes would probably be all right.
15 minutes. Okay.
I've got my phone, Linda. So do you want to just text? Do you want to message me if you feel like you want to check if we're ready to come back? But aim for 15, 20 minutes.
I can do that. Yeah. I'll set it for 15 minutes, and then if people need longer, they can. Anyone can message me, or I can message them. I don't know who's going to go in whose room. I'm going to assign. I'm going to Zoom do it. So I'm going 3 breakout rooms. It's going to assign us automatically. So I don't know who's going to. Probably Jen and I'll end up in the same group.
Laura's heading off, by the way, just so you know. Hope everything's okay.
No worries.
There will be a recording, so yeah, we can share that.
Okay. Right, I'm pressing create now. Here we go. Wonder where we'll end up.
Magic.
Sorry, Jen, I pressed the wrong button.
I know. We've come back in so you can tell us quickly whilst everyone else is finishing up.
I don't even know how to do that.
No, you were telling us
I
about
was
your
just saying
Yeah,
that
yeah.
when the for anyone else who's in, we were just talking about boundaries within your home. If you're working at home, if you have got a garden office or something outside of the home, it can make a big difference. I was saying this week, because the kids have been around, it's that again, what I said before, it's like they do not leave me alone. There is no understanding of I'm in here, but then I feel like I'm saying, I just need to do this, or could you just give me half an hour?
Yeah.
So yeah, that idea of having, I mean, it's not where we are, it's not possible, but like having somewhere where you physically leave your home and they can't see you and they'd still find you, but or mine would anyway. I can
Is that whole being the default parent that
100%.
I can have a house full of adults and my children will bypass all the other grown-ups that could help them with whatever it is they need, and they will come and find me, even though I've said I'm not available to be of any help to anyone. And it's because they consider you the default parent. You're the one that they come to go, can I have a snack? And you're like, well, you were literally in the kitchen with your other parent. Why didn't you ask that parent?
Because they gave them the answer they didn't want, so they came and found you because you would obviously
I go,
have a different answer.
yeah.
Hi guys, welcome back. I feel like we've lost a few people, maybe. I don't know. Have we lost a few people? Maybe not.
No, just one, which was Laura, who said she was.
Oh, okay. I feel like I didn't want to leave anybody like sitting in a room somewhere. Oh, okay, don't worry, Heather. That's all good. Don't worry. So I don't know what you did in your groups. I don't even know who was in it.
Is
oh
bedtime. So she'll message us when they're asleep. And if it's a decent time, we can join the call. She said us for us to go ahead. I just feel like it's not really beneficial. About that, do you know what I mean? We both need to hear.
Can you mute?
I don't know who it is. You is it?
Kirsty.
So let's see what time she does.
Sorry. Okay, I was like, I don't know who it is. It was sped up as well. So it was very impressive. So I was like,
see you later, Helen.
Thanks, Helen. See you later. Yeah, sorry, completely threw me, that did. What we did in my group is obviously we chatted and we kind of had 3 little sections. We just went over our kind of goals, and then we talked about things that we could do for our business and things we could do for ourselves to help with this balancing act. So I thought it would be quite cool if one person from each group just kind of fed back up the main things that you guys talked about. And then we can see if we've got some common ground. Does that sound all right?
Yeah, do you want to start with your group, Linda, if you've got themes? Because we've got kind of a more of a laundry list in our group.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it isn't that organised, it's just where I wrote it down. So
sounds very organised.
How can we make it happen was our heading. So this one came mainly from Vicky, and it's about shifting our mindset around what success is for us. And so rather than always striving for the next sort of shiny thing that kind of gets flashed across maybe Instagram at us, but what is our success, rather than feeling like we've lost Helen. I think Helen left, didn't she? She had to leave. Carrie's room. Yeah, I think she said goodbye. Yeah, so working out what our version of success is, rather than trying to hang on to someone else's and then feel bad because we're not maybe as successful as them. Along those lines. Like in my industry, there's loads of hypnobirthing teachers and we can compare ourselves if we wanted to, but really, does it help? Not really. Second one, keep reminding ourselves of our goals. So what actually is it that we're looking to do, rather than again feeling overwhelmed and distracted? Keep on task, and then you'll feel like you're achieving and you're working towards things. So again, you feel less overwhelmed. Time blocking. This was Tamazin's one. So just considering how you can shape and organise your week a little bit so you do feel more organised and you do feel more in control. And again, alongside that is stacking tasks, like doing similar tasks. So you might spend some time writing a few emails at one go, or you might record some social media content, so you're not continually spending more time than you need to. Boundaries. So again, I think Vicky should maybe come and talk about this in a minute, but she's really been working really hard on her boundaries, and that has really shifted her life, which I think is amazing, and we could all learn a lot. So I'm going to hand over to her in just 1 minute. And then in terms of ourselves, how we can make what we want for us happen in our families. like committing to things we want. So for example, if yoga is what you want to pursue, booking into a yoga class that you pay for up front for a term maybe. And so you do turn up at 7 p.m. on a Monday because you've already committed to it. Tamsin's mum was booking holidays, which I love. So she books holidays and then she has the time she needs because she's booked a holiday, which I think is brilliant. Regular times to meet friends, and then dealing with the unpredictability element of running your own business and family life. A really good one, it came from Heather, and she's teamed up with another travel consultant, and so they support each other. So if one can't work, the other one could take on some of the load. And lots of us work in similar industries. Like I sometimes have clients that really need support, and actually maybe I could signpost them to maybe Kimberly or someone who I know knows the same things that I know, and it hadn't even occurred to me. So that's a good learning curve, right? Vicky used the word perspective, which I think is a really good word. That if your child has got chickenpox or has, got a bug or whatever else, like it's okay. Like this is, in some ways, it's a good thing. So we do work for ourselves. It does give us that flexibility. So in some ways, hopefully, it lessens the stress of trying to, not get to work or whatever else. So like just realizing the world isn't going to end and it's okay. And this is the kind of themes we talked around. Vicky, do you want to add anything to this about boundaries?
I'm trying to remember what I was saying around boundaries. I think I've worked really hard on my boundaries, mostly in terms of trying to manage my own energy, to have time for different things. And I think what I was talking about was things like emails. So not necessarily, the structured time blocking, but I was saying, for example, if I've answered my emails in the morning and say it's taken me half an hour, I won't then feel the need to go on and keep checking my emails, because actually if something else comes through, it's not an emergency, and actually that can wait till the next time. So I won't check my emails in the evening, I won't check my emails at the weekend. So it's just trying to have that, we don't need to reply to everything straight away, that actually can just have those set times for doing those things.
Thank you.
I think, is that what I was saying?
Yeah, it was. But also, you talked a bit about how you, in the earlier days of your business, you struggled like with burnout much more regularly, and you learned that you can't sustain this model, and so therefore you built much stronger boundaries into your life. So now you have much better work-life balance. So yeah,
Yes.
very inspiring.
Thank you. Remembering what I said better than I did.
Jen, do you want to do your group?
Yes. Nicola, will you share your perspective first, and then I'll run through the list of ideas that we started with.
What, the harmony thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was saying came up in another a course I was in, and they were saying about how balancing kind of indicates that things go like up and down, and one has to have higher priority than the other. But if you actually look at it as harmony, because there will be things in our life like families that will always be of a higher priority, and that's okay. That if it and getting the harmony of the work-life balance rather than actually trying to make them the same level.
Yeah.
Hopefully I said that.
Yeah. No, and I love that, because I don't think it should be like work-life balance, because it should be about your life at the end of the day. Work's just one part of that. So yeah, we liked that perspective in our group. So I'm going to just run through our list of ideas. So we talked about the importance of saying no, and yeah, just producing stuff. Looking at diaries and looking at not just are you free on that day or that night, but actually can you like put yourself in the shoes of how you're going to feel on that week or that day. Do you have the mental capacity, the energy? Do you feel like you're going to be able to actually do that thing on that day? You don't have to feel bad for saying no if your diary is clear. Do you know what I mean? You can still say no, because you might not have the capacity for something. I really like something that Kimberly said, which was about she has, and I really want to do this, she schedules a day a week for herself, like, and it's like a kind of a free flowing day where she could get her hair done, she could do whatever she wants, like whatever things come up. And typically she doesn't lose that day, but if a client does drop in on that day, she would move that day because it's normally a Friday to a Thursday. And I think that's really powerful. And I really like that idea. What else did we talk about? We talked about looking at your year. So both Kimberly and I mentioned there's a company called Once Upon a Tuesday, and they do calendars basically. So we've got massive like A3 year calendars, and we use that for our businesses and also our family stuff. And it just helps you kind of get perspective. Some of us are saying that we've booked in our holidays on it for the year. And it's like non-negotiable time. We're not going to be working. What else? Having linking to the clear boundaries point, limiting nights out and on evenings and weekends. So saying maybe you'll only do 1 or 2 evenings a week, and you make sure that you don't say yes to anything more than that. We were talking about something that Lucy brought up was around like, should you say yes kind of to your clients when they kind of come to you, or is it okay to give people slots and sort of say, I don't work these days, I can only do these times? So we're talking about trying to be a bit more similar to what you were saying, Linda, about like doing the same thing on certain times of days, just being quite clear with your boundaries and saying like, I don't know, on a Tuesday, this is when I can do discovery calls, and being okay if someone can't do that, saying, well, that is my availability. If it doesn't work for them, then maybe they're not the right client, and just being a bit strict with your boundaries. We talked about mobile phones, and Kimberly was talking about how she turns off all her notifications. Nicola said quite an interesting point, which was if she does her emails in the evening, she sends them. So she'll schedule them to go out the next morning at like 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. So her clients or people aren't seeing that she might be sending an email at 9 p.m. So you kind of don't get into that like rhythm of people thinking that you're going to email them at all times of the day, which I think is quite clever, because yeah, we can be working in the evening sometimes. We talked about Kerry, who has a no phone Sundays rule, I think. Someone brought that up and we like that. I think that's very powerful. We said that when we find that we've got time for self-care, we don't actually know what to do with ourselves sometimes. So something that's from the book that Linda got me, which was a self-care book for new mums, it said write a list of fun stuff that you like to do, and so that when you do actually get like a bit of time to yourself, you don't have to sit there and think, what should I do with myself? You can just look at a list and be like, oh, okay, I know, like these are things that I like to do, which one shall I pick today? One of the things that I said was trying to have a bit of a plan for your business and take some time, not just when you're doing stuff in the business, but you're doing some stuff on the business. So each month, take a step back and kind of look at your months, look at what you want to achieve, look at your kind of the year or the 6 months you've got coming up, and just take that time to be on the business. Whether it's like projects you want to do or extra things, just so you're not always in the thick of go, and just have a bit of time to yourself. And Nicola rightly then pointed out that she's had a really difficult couple of weeks with finding the time to work because of kids not being well and stuff. And she was saying that her strategy day had basically got dropped. And she was saying, we kind of need a disaster recovery plan. And what could that look like? So that was where our conversation sort of ended. But I thought that was quite an interesting point. And Heather's solution about having someone that she buddies up with, I think is fantastic for that. I think that was all our ideas. So there's quite a lot there.
They're brilliant. I've written them all down.
Love it.
Thank you.
I have got one more I'm just going to throw in, because I didn't say it in the group, but it's one that I used to do when I had just had Mabel, and it was chore-free Fridays. So I said Friday for me was a day that I don't do any washing. Like obviously I would do a little bit of like clearing the kitchen if it needed to be done, but like no washing, no like, I don't know, no cleaning, nothing like that. And I need to get back to that, because that actually was quite nice.
That's one of my, when I have my floaty day of do what I like, that's one of the rules. Do what I like,
Love it.
but not housework.
Love it. Yeah, I think it's quite
Yeah.
powerful. Yeah, when you work at home, it is hard. Yeah.
Who was in the third group? Who, I don't know. We don't know. Who's Kerry?
Yeah, it was myself and Nikki and Kirsty and Helen, who's departed. We had a bit of a free-for-all. You sound remarkably disciplined compared to how we were. We spent our time self-caring by whinging about lots of different things, but we did come up with a good few things. And I put one down that I just thought of actually. I was talking to a friend recently and she said to me, I said something about my work uniform. And she said, what do you mean work uniform? You don't have an employer? And I said, no, I've set my own uniform. And so when I put my work clothes on, that's when I'm at work. So yes, I'll do lots of work around. But like Jen, you're wearing your village logo tonight. Ta-da! You're at work and you put on your work uniform and then you go to a different place, you know. And if you've got children around you like I have, they see your work uniform, or my work phone used to have boobs all over it. And so I just point at the phone and they go, okay, fine, that's the boobs phone. Can't interrupt mummy. Now she's on the boobs phone, and it worked really well. I just got a new phone. I can't find the same case. I think I'm just going to graffiti my own thing.
I absolutely love that. Sorry, I got excited about that idea because I do have jumpers. I'm not wearing one now, I'm really sorry. But and actually, yeah.
You put your uniform on and go to work. And I think I got the idea. There was a man, it was probably like Steve Jobs or one of the Facebook guys or whatever, but they had this like wardrobe and they had white t-shirts, blue jeans and blazers, and that was it. That was all that was in there. Multiple ones of the same thing. So you never had to choose what you're going to wear. You didn't have to go, what kind of day is this today? Do I feel like brights, pastels? You know, it was just like, sling it on. That's it. So I have my uniform, and every time I put it on, I feel like an IBCLC. So that's how I go out to work. And so I thought, yeah, I could definitely do more of that at home. But we talked a little bit about having your own philosophy. So something to refer back to, so that when an opportunity or a job or whatever comes in, you can make a judgment about, is this going to benefit me in some way? Or how is this going to help me achieve whatever my goal is? Or how does this fit with my philosophy? So if it doesn't fit, you don't do it. So let's say I was invited to speak at some particular place about breastfeeding or supporting breastfeeding, and the place itself didn't really align with how I support breastfeeding. I could quite easily say that doesn't align with me, I'm not going. So it kind of helps with the work coming in, being able to say no, and not saying no necessarily on a personal basis, but on a work kind of philosophy basis. I'm not doing this because it doesn't align with my job. And then there's no need to abandon the client at that point. You can say, but I know someone who does do that kind of thing. Whoosh, off they go. And then they're equally happy because you've enabled to sort of signpost them somewhere else. Cleaners were top of our list, outsourcing things that are really straightforward. And Nikki and I are probably aligned in this, in that our client base comes and goes, and when they come, they are an urgent need, and then they're gone. And so trying to manage the work-life balance when you're in an on-call type of position can be quite tricky. But we talked about potential buddies or referring on clients to other people in a similar profession to us, and also time blocking, but perhaps more extreme time blocking than you might get in other jobs, where you say, I'm not going to take any clients for that entire month of July or whenever it is. So you've got really clear boundaries. And if they're clients that are coming to you from afar or with some sort of perspective of long distance need, you can say, I won't be available for your birth, or I won't be available for your postnatal, antenatal time, or whatever. Yeah, I think, did I miss anything crucial?
Korean ASMR eating, what we were talking about as well.
Yeah, self-care.
Long story. It's a fetish that I've got at the minute. And I was just saying, it comes under self-care. I fell down a rabbit hole one night, and I'm now obsessed with ASMR Korean eaters. It's a niche. But
I don't even know what that means.
Right, just all look at it. And
what is it again?
Oh, don't ever look at it.
I know, but I need someone. I just need one other human being to say that I am not some sociopath weirdo that is the only person that likes this stuff. It popped up on my Instagram one day, and it was just these people eating an obscene amount, and they shove fresh garlic in and they chop on raw onions. It is pretty amazing. Watch it. Honestly, it's called
ASMR is like
Your
it's called
faces.
It's called Muck. The one that I like, the one I like is called Mukbang. MUK bang. Go on Instagram, Google it. It will just honestly, someone has to be like me. I can't be the only weirdo that sits there. I can't. Please tell me that someone.
We
just
forgive you,
report
Nikki.
that.
It's all right.
We'll look it up.
that ASMR thing. It comes down to it's like a certain pitch of sound that's supposed to relax your mind. So you know when you get like, does anybody use like the Calm app for like sleep stories and stuff? You'll get somewhere they whisper, and that's the idea. It's that pitch and ASMR, like the eating. That I'd imagine that the sounds are more like the slurping of noodles and the crunching of things. But when you listen to like, you know, like if a microphone was put in a frying pan and you can just hear that like that, that's.
I mean, ASMR comes in all forms. You can get ASMR with people with shouting.
Yeah, just
Like,
I think
it's what your
pitches
trigger.
that's supposed to
triggers.
resonate certain vibration in your brain to help you relax. Yeah.
Or watch the eating because I like it. It's weird. I'm not going to say that, and whether or not you'll invite me back remains to be seen when you all watch it. But I would like to know that someone else is on the same planet as me.
The doulas, IBCLCs, hypnobirthing practitioners, we're all there for acceptance. It's fine. You're happy in your ASMR world, Nikki. We accept you. Go for it.
It does me no harm, so you just crack on.
Absolutely.
Love it. It's been really, really nice to hang out with you all tonight. I was going to ask everyone to write themselves like a positive statement or an affirmation around what we've done tonight, like an intention. You don't have to do it right now if you're like, oh, I'm a bit tired and it's now 9:01. But I was going to ask everyone just to do that as like a final thought around a take home, if you like, from this. And my one might be, I will wear work clothes to work. It could be as simple as that. Because I think that's so smart, although I do worry about washing my work tops in case the logo rubs off. So I like to take them on and put them off really rapidly for Instagram videos. Yeah. So if you'd like to write an affirmation now, and you've got something that comes to mind, write it down. If you don't, it's okay. And then I was just going to get you to literally take a breath and read it out 3 times to yourself while just taking a moment. And when I say take a breath, it's taking a lovely deep breath in through your nose and a really nice release out through your mouth. And just repeat your mantra, whatever that might be. And that was going to be a very, very simple relaxation at the end of tonight's session. Would anyone like to share their affirmation? Nobody has to, but I don't want to end it in case people are like, I want to share.
I wrote down something that Helen said. It's less of an affirmation and more of a kind of how to process what's coming in and out and say no. And she says, is this going to make me money?
Oh, I find that one quite hard. That's interesting.
I know. It feels uncomfortable to me. That's why I'm going to try it.
Quite often it might
stretch my boundary a bit.
At the I know some of us here were at the business showcase. It feels like last week, it was probably a few weeks ago, but there was a guy there who was talking about stuff. And the one thing that kind of stuck in my mind is he said, when looking at what you need to do, will this make me money? And I sat there and I was like, actually, everything I do might make me money, because I might go to a baby class and there might be someone there who really needs some help, or I might reply to an Instagram post and they might be interested. But then in the last few weeks, it's really made me think about how I prioritize stuff. So actually, if I've got an email that is sat there and that person is like on the cusp, or they are kind of ready to go, I am now doing that first before I go and do everything else. Because I think sometimes we can be like, I've got this massive long list, I'll do the things that I can tick off really quickly, or I like doing a bit more. But it's really made me think about the order I do this. I'm still going to do that other stuff, but actually I can do that in 2 hours.
I had exactly
Yeah,
the same
love that.
breakthrough as you, same speaker, the same comment, and it started. I was like, but everything, and then slowly, yeah, it filters through, and I've done exactly the same thing as you. Like people that actually are properly inquiring, sending a booking link rather than replying to an Instagram post. So yes, exactly the same. Does anyone else like to share? I know we're overrun a little bit, but you might like to share.
I'm going to go with, and this goes back to what Nicola was saying about something she'd found somewhere else. And I'm going to go with I can find harmony. I don't know
That's
what that
nice.
is.
I'm gonna
I
write that
can
down.
find it. I will find it.
Yeah,
I can find harmony.
that's really nice. Oh, yeah, really nice. Does anyone else want to say anything? Or is that too nice to like say, I'm going to make more money?
I'm going to
Harmony in
find harmony
my
with the
bank
concept
balance.
of making money. Yeah, harmony's my bank balance.
It's been, like I said before, so nice to chat to everyone. And I'm really pleased with how this meeting worked out, because it was a bit of a, like, let's see how it goes. When Jen and I were talking about it, so we wanted to have a bit of a debate and a bit of a like brainstorm together. And I think we've totally smashed it. Like we've got really loads of good ideas. And I will filter these into the Facebook group, and I'm sure Jen will filter them into the Instagram. And like, let's keep talking, guys. Anything you want to add, Jen?
No, I think that's amazing. I've got 3 pages of notes, and I feel like I want to create something from it. God knows what.
Same.
That's
We'll figure it out.
So much content. Yeah. Thank you so
And
much
also,
everyone, for coming.
I have a teammate. I realised earlier. You think about fun in the oven. I was like, totally got a teammate in Jen. Jen, you know he's trained to be a hypnobirthing teacher as well as a business coach, and I can pass all the work to you.
Okay.
Yes, thank you, ladies. Have a wonderful weekend, whatever that brings for you. And we'll see you, if not before, on the first week of May. And hopefully some of you at the recurring revenue things. It's going to be really good.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right, take care, guys.
See you later.
Good night.
Bye.